What's up, bhai log? Hi. Can you guys see me now? Am I live? Whoa. Guys, can you all see me, guys? Am I live? मैं थोड़ा confused. हाँ, चल मैं live हूँ, I think. I think I'm live. Guys, can you all see me, guys? Am I live? मैं थोड़ा confused. हाँ, चल मैं live हूँ, I think. I think. What's up, guys? कितना मेहनत किया है, guys, just to come back on this. What's up? What's up? What's up? Hi, everyone. Hi. भाई मैं फुल आज सॉफ्टवेयर इंजीनियर बन गया गाइस. मेरे को ये आता ही नहीं था. मैंने अभी फुल मेहनत करके आई लिंक्ड माय जूम टू फेसबुक लाइव एंड ऑल दोस थिंग्स. मैंने मेहनत तो जरूर किया है. थैंक यू गाइस. व्हाट्स अप? हाय. आई विल जस्ट इनवाइट भव्य नाउ. Yeah, just a second. Invite link has been copied. I will just share it. Whoa, man, मेहनत हुआ आज. अच्छा खासा मेहनत. Hi everyone, what's up? Yeah. Hi. Can everyone see me? कोई तो हाँ भाई लोग कोई हाय बोल दो यार. हाँ. What's up? What's up? Hi. Sahil says hi. Manish says hello. Hi Karan. What's up, guys? Yeah, I almost have. Bhavya is also joining in only. He's joined. You guys see? Whoa. Just a second, guys. What's up, Bhavya?
Hello, am I audible?
Yeah, you are perfectly audible.
Cool.
Bhai, I almost became a software developer now is what I feel in this. Yeah.
It took quite a while.
Yeah,
But
sorry, man.
It's
So
good
sorry.
that we're finally live.
Yeah, so sorry, yeah, about the delay.
Yeah,
we
no,
had a lot of people asking about it. But I'm figuring how to just see अभी on the Zoom के ऊपर भी देखो और Facebook पे भी देखो to see all the comments that people are posting, So I'll have to just kind of figure that out. थोड़ा अलग है because right now I'm a viewer, so when I'm just figuring out what the things are. चलो ठीक है, we will continue.
What we can do is we can like sort of split our screens into like keeping half of it for Facebook and half of it for Zoom. That way we'll be able to see both of them simultaneously. I mean, if the comments don't.
Sure, we can do something like that. Done. But anyway, I have it open on my phone, so I think I'm being able to see. Yeah.
Okay.
Chalo, theek hai. Everyone is commenting. Yeah, there are comments coming in. Hello, everyone. Hi. Chalo, guys, thoda is time alag rahega, but let's go for it. Hi, Bhavya. Thank you so much. Yeah. And I have a few questions prepared for you all to that. So, guys, firstly, just introducing. I spoke to Bhavya about. I'm pronouncing the name right? It's Bhavya only, right?
Yeah, it's Bhavya.
Perfect. So I spoke to Bhavya about a couple of weeks back, and when I spoke to him about coming on Facebook Live, मैंने उसको बोला, so he said कि my exams are going on. So finally now exams are over. So today we have him here with us, and very happy that he did not create a fuss at all. Like I said this for a previous player as well, but for him also, like right now also we are 49 minutes late, but he did not even once show any urgency के late हो रहा है, ये हो रहा है. So thank you so much, Bhavya. Firstly, that only defines one very important thing. So thank you so much.
Yeah, no worries, man. I mean, there's nothing you could have done about it. It's just some technical issue that was coming up.
Thank you, boss. Thank you. चलो ठीक है. So we had about 10-12 questions which have already come in, 14 questions which have already come in. And
Okay.
usually on this live, whenever we do a live, about 200 questions ho jate hain. Abhi tak, whenever it goes,
Okay.
yeah, 200 questions happen. Today, also one thing is we are giving away 25 tickets, theek hai?
Okay.
Where it's two tickets are for 10 lakh each tournaments, okay, which is
Okay.
happening tonight at 8 p.m. on Calling Station. And
Okay.
then remaining is on 9 stacks, and some are 1 lakh tournament tickets. So
Okay.
everyone wants those tickets, and it's all up to
Yes,
you.
yes.
So जो
Okay.
अच्छा question होगा, आपको जो अच्छा लगेगा, just tell me. I will you allot it according to that. So some are
Okay.
50,000, some are 1 lakh, and some are 2 or 10 lakh tickets. ठीक है?
Okay. What's the
Perfect.
buy-in?
So
Is the buy-in
the
different
buy-in is
or
2,750. And
okay?
are you playing anything tonight at 8 p.m.?
Yeah, I don't think I'm probably taking a break today. I'm just playing
Oh,
Adda main day two. I have like 10 bigs for day two, but
acha.
that's about
So
it.
so honestly, this is something which we are just introducing for the
Hmm.
speaker. I don't know, it's not a very big thing for you, but
Yes.
if it's there, it's sponsored by Calling Station. If you want to play tonight's 10 lakh GTD tournament, there's a ticket for you as well. So if you are okay with that.
Yeah, I appreciate it, but honestly, I don't think that I'll be playing that
ठीक है.
because
Done. It's just an initiative I'm trying to bring on the group, man. Thank you. Okay, chalo done.
yeah,
Uh, Bhavya, first question for you is,
yeah.
you said you got introduced about 2 years ago. आप जब ये MBA करने चालू किए थे. So what is your
Yeah.
story like? When did you get introduced to the game?
Okay, so it'll be, I guess I got introduced when I was in like seventh or eighth grade. So I think there's this app on Facebook called Zynga Poker, which most of the people around here would know.
हाँ.
So I got introduced through that. My brother told me that you can play this. So I started playing, and I was obviously, as a beginner, I was pretty shit at it. And
हाँ.
for the next 3 or 4 years, I was just playing for fun. I didn't even know that people played for real money. And then once I joined college, I started playing with my friends again for like a year or so. We weren't playing for actual money. Then started playing for like $100 buy-in. It was like
हाँ.
1-2 stakes, and then eventually 500. And then and I used to play like free rolls on Spartan and
अच्छा.
stuff.
So you started that time only.
No, that I started in like my third year of undergrad. So
Okay.
maybe like 4 years back
Okay.
almost. And the the time when I actually started playing online, like a lot of online, was about 2 years back. Yeah, I think, yeah, exactly 2 years back, when Nine Stacks gave me a free ticket. So it was, I think, a 3,500 rupee buy-in tournament where
Wow.
everyone on the final table got 1 lakh each. So I luck boxed in that tournament, and I reached the
Wow.
FT. And so my
Oh.
bankroll went from like 5,000 rupees to 1 lakh. And at that time, that was a huge amount for me.
Even now for everyone watching, it's a very huge amount if that can happen with anyone. So I think it's definitely a crazy thing. Wow.
Yeah,
Huh.
I definitely at that time I wasn't even good. So after that, I made a rookie mistake that, I mean, whoever hasn't put in any effort would do that. So I started playing like 25, 50, 50, 100, even though I didn't have the skill for that. I didn't have the
Oh.
bankroll. So I ended up busting my bankroll a couple
Hmm.
of times, then starting again. Then I thought, okay, now that I'm playing for actual money, I should put in a lot more effort. So I started studying the game more seriously. I joined Upswing's Poker Lab course, got my fundamentals corrected through there,
Oh.
and then started really studying the game and putting in a lot of volume. And since then, it's been pretty good.
Got it. So coming to that, you said you did this.
Hmm.
Isme, initial, like, your 500 buying time, or even now, the whole
Hmm.
idea was what? It was tab tak ke liye money tha, right? It was not कि it's my passion, or was it passion already, or it was
Yeah,
like nahi, it
yeah.
was
So
money.
college, I used to just enjoy the game a lot. So even though we were playing for like 100 or 500 rupees, like
Huh.
we still used to play like 7-8 hours a day. We just play like
Oh,
non-stop. And when I was not even playing, I was just watching videos on YouTube for like 3 or 4 hours a day. So it at that time it used to be a lot more fun. Now it's not as much fun as it used to be earlier, but
oh.
now it's more about the money.
Now, so now it's more about the money. Usually
Yeah.
people say, once they've gotten something nice, they go like, "Arey, ab to main, I do it because I love it. I have the passion." ऐसा नहीं है अभी.
No, 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 no. So
So now,
after playing for a while, the passion starts sort of going down. And as a player, also, you'd want to like be extremely rational when you're making decisions. You won't be like, "They could do 7 off, se bluff karne mein maza aayega, so I'll just start
हाँ.
bluffing here." That doesn't make sense. So you just start making decisions which are more rational as more time progresses.
Understood. Okay. So initially it was just more about the fun part of it, and then it became more like a side income. I would hope, like a main
Yeah,
income at that time, probably because you were a student as yet, and you're studying. But
yeah,
uh, you said 2-3 years so you become more serious about the game, and you I've not got this Upswing Poker Labs car a lot. Like I've heard
mm,
about Raise Your Edge, and I've heard about
yeah,
these courses. Run It Once is something I've heard.
yeah.
So what is तो आपने पढ़ाई कभी चालू की? Like you said initially तो 1 लाख का bankroll हो गया, but
So,
how did you decide कि अभी मुझे पढ़ाई करना है, and why Upswing? Like I don't know, can you give us some guide? Yeah.
so Upswing is Doug Polk's
Oh,
yeah, channel. So I used to watch a lot of videos of Doug Polk when I was in college. So that's how I learned like most of my basic stuff. So I
okay.
knew that his content was good. And the time I actually started using that was when I started losing money online. I was like, okay, this is not like the live games that I play in college. Not everyone is like absolutely pathetic. Some people do put in some effort, and I need to get better than them to make sure that I don't
Got
lose
it.
money. So that's how I started studying, and yeah,
So
so
it's a
that's
free
pretty much.
course. It's a free
No,
course
no,
because
it's not a free course. So it's like I think $50 a month for the
$50
subscription.
a month. Okay, because nowadays I've got like about a lot of people asking me on this group itself. So it's about 650 members, but they're
Okay.
very active in this group. So everyone is
Okay.
very active. So we've seen that everyone wants to actually understand कि क्या पढ़ना है,
Okay.
because सब लोग यही level का face करे. Everyone's a mid stake and small stake player. So that's why I was asking कि your study pattern was Upswing Poker Lab. If
Yeah.
they don't want to pay,
Yeah.
what do they actually study?
So they also have a lot of free stuff, and even other people have put out like there's like tons of free stuff available now. So you can get like a lot of pre-flop ranges, overall strategy content. There's like a ton of stuff you can find online. So that's not too big of an issue. So most of this stuff will start coming into play at like mid to high stakes level, where you'll start finding other people who are thinking more about the game, who have like their basic theory set. If you're playing like low to mid stakes, then I think the free stuff is good enough for that.
Yeah,
But
in fact, the question which I had today was something on this line only. So it's very nice. You kind of answered that. So I'll ask you that time again. Okay,
okay,
yeah, because ठीक है, I'll come back to that. Okay. Let's address the elephant in the room. कि भाई बंदा IIM लखनऊ में पढ़ाई कर रहा है, and
yeah,
the whole thing कि यार it should have been like probably eyeing a consulting job or working with some VC or looking at those avenues which are available.
yeah.
So how is he playing poker? Like, what is one family, relatives, and society is saying? How is that coming? कि लोग क्या बोल रहे हैं?
So my parents know that I play poker, so I told them once I made like a bit of money that I'm going to be paying my college fee. So that was basically the first time they found
Wow.
out that I have made a bit of money. So they're fine with it. As far as time goes, so there's one major switch that has happened since I've joined college. Now at IIM, you don't really know when you'll have time or how much time you'll have at a stretch. So playing MTTs during college time isn't possible at all, since the whole schedule of the Indian
MBA
ecosystem
stuff.
is pretty bad. It starts at like 8 in the night, and then you have to play till like 4 in the morning. That is not possible. So I've like majorly shifted my volume to cash games whenever I'm in college, because I can just start playing anytime and just stop anytime. So yeah, that's how I use my time.
So, what is the future like? Because if you are seeing right now, because see, I've spoken to a few people who quit either the IITs or like like Neil Joshi, for example, he's got a
Yeah.
crazy job, but he decided to shift and then this thing. So for
Yeah.
you are yet entering that zone, right? Because after your MBA is when you get all those top offers and all those things. So what is your plan there? Okay, poker professionally or a job?
No, I don't think I'm going to be playing poker professionally. The reason is that even if I do play for like 2 or 3 years more, I don't think it's something that I enjoy doing after that time. So I'm looking at like
Okay.
2, 3 or 5 years down the line. I'm already starting to get bored of it, and so I don't think that 5 years down the line it's something that I'd want to continue. But yeah, definitely, if you're looking at just the monetary stuff, so if you're decent at poker, you can make a lot of money, which would be better than even the best paying jobs that will be offered at IIM. But personally, I'm not even looking for the job. I'm thinking of starting something of my own. Uh, as you might find, a lot of poker players aren't the sort of people who would be good at doing a job for someone else. So a lot
Right,
of them
right,
go into
right.
entrepreneurship or like just
No, that's
yeah,
interesting. Oh, that's super interesting. Acha, theek hai. So, I'm even more excited today because usually the players I get are
Hmm.
people who have turned professional and
Hmm.
now are continuing that journey and they're very young.
Hmm.
Everyone I've spoken to is 23, 25, and they are like moving towards a life which is like the entire work life is left. And you are
Yeah.
saying you're already at the helm of कि यार मैं अभी छोड़ सकता हूँ 1-2 साल में. Like, मैं छोड़ सकता हूँ. So, wow.
Yeah.
Okay, that's a different viewpoint. ठीक है. So, so is it the money part? कि it's become boring, it's lonely. क्या वैसा? Is it because see, I have this thing. कि does it make you self doubt? Like poker का कि अभी I'm getting into this, but ये थोड़ा lonely हो रहा है. मैं CEO बन सकता था, which you in fact want to. So it's my question. कि you could have been a CEO of a company. So what is that?
So for me, it's more about the lifestyle. So currently, especially for the MTT scene, I don't like the whole lifestyle of like starting your day at like 7 in the night and then play. So basically, like when everyone's awake, you'll be sleeping. When everyone's sleeping, you'll be
Yeah.
up working. So that doesn't work for me. So that is one of the major turn-offs that I have regarding the poker scene. But otherwise, it's okay. It's not bad, but it's just something that I don't think I can do for a long term thing. Like
But
it,
even
it,
after
it has been fun for like 2 years. It's been a lot of fun, but and it has given me a lot of opportunities to do other stuff. But I don't think I'll be.
So ये सबके लिए is very important, because a lot of
Hmm.
people on the group are also people who have seen जो complain कर रहे हैं, कि मैं अपनी salary में से I'm giving every month and my wife is not happy towards poker, but people are not being able to move away from the game, because it's somewhere there's an addiction to the part
Yeah,
of gambling
of course.
element of it. So when you are saying you're ready to actually quit that, it's a very different viewpoint and it's pretty exciting to actually get that, because usually people are कि अब तो ये होने ही वाला है, they
Yeah,
so that's a
so the way I view it is like it's a part of life. It's not my entire life. So if as long as I continue to enjoy doing what I'm doing, I'll do it. But now that it's starting to become a little bit monotonous, it's I mean, might as well look for something new. I guess this is one advice I'll have for everyone. Like, don't just have only poker as a skill set in life. Try and develop other skill sets as well. Even if you're looking to go pro, because I think if you have to talk to like older people who've been playing for like 5-10 years, they might, at least I feel that they might start feeling that it's a bit boring, or they then start to get into coaching or some of those aspects, but those don't seem that interesting to me.
Okay. Yeah, fair enough. Because you were saying you're coming from the entrepreneur ka business mindset. So you have an opportunity everywhere where you can
Yeah,
actually
exactly.
use it, not only into poker.
Yeah,
ठीक
exactly.
है? But okay, if I ask you, okay, इतना time आप खेले हो, what is the learning that you got from poker which you can use, say, in your business world or in normal life? What is that thing which you feel you got from poker?
I think the number one thing is the importance of just taking the right actions and not worrying too much about the consequences. So I think like every poker player would experience a lot of variance, and especially when it comes to MTTs. So while studying, you will realize that if you're making the correct decision, but the final outcome of the hand wasn't in your favor, you don't need to worry about it. Like, of course, in that moment it will feel annoying, you might get tilted a little bit, but as long as your decision process was correct, that's totally fine. So that's a skill that I think can be applicable to life as well. Then again, patience is one of the things that MTT poker again teaches you, that
अच्छा.
it's possible that you'll just have to keep on waiting, even in life, that there might not be opportunities at that moment, but some point or the other they will come, and whenever they come you have to grab them. And I guess another skill set would be just bankroll management. I think even it's a skill which is important for both life and poker. I think in poker especially, like even more than your skill level, I think bankroll management is like the number one skill you should have, because it doesn't it not only helps you in your poker, but also in how happy you will be in life.
You'll be able to take the risks. You'll be able to take the falls better.
Yeah, exactly. So if you end up losing like uh, 10-20 buy-ins, and your bankroll
180
management
buy-ins.
is proper, then it won't really affect you mentally that much. And the same is true for life as well, right? You if you're earning, let's say, 10K a month, you wouldn't want to
lose all
go out a
10K.
night drinking and just spend 5-6 grand a
Correct.
day. You'd rather just like spend money on smaller stuff and be content with it.
So, but isme personally saying, we
Hmm.
all somewhere like bankroll management ka I've got this from everyone
Hmm.
कि 80 to 100 buy-ins अगर आप या 50 to 100 buy-ins भी अगर आप MTTs खेल रहे हो और 100
Hmm.
buy-ins of plus if you're playing cash, that is nice to have approx. Everyone has their own viewpoints, but approx
Hmm.
इतना जो बोलते हैं.
I think the numbers seem to be like a bit, I mean, for a bit wrong, in my opinion. For cash,
Please.
I think 50 buy-ins is good for
Okay.
cash. And for MTTs, you'll need more buy-ins, especially if you're playing larger field MTTs where, let's say, 400, 500 people are playing. You might want to get closer to 150, 200 buy-ins because the
Okay.
variance in MTTs would be much, much larger as compared to cash
Then
games.
cash.
Yeah.
Okay.
In,
Okay. Fair
in
enough.
cash, if you have like a huge edge over the field, then you can even consider going as low as 25 buy-ins. But for most players, 50 buy-ins is a comfortable
Okay.
limit.
Okay, ठीक है हाँ so ये चीज है so this number we know but we all kind of deviate from it everyone does and I know people जो यहाँ group से भी tickets जिसको मिली है they
हाँ,
won and then they said मैं जीत गया 10,000 and then I just spent it on cash tables 25 50 50 100 पे खेल के so
हाँ. So
यही किसी को follow नहीं होता है तो what is the strict thing which you did to follow it it's very easy to lose all the money there.
yeah, so I think experience taught me because uh, I did do this once. As I told you that even after getting my
Twice.
first score, yeah, I've done this earlier, and then I realized okay, there's no point in doing this if I'm just. I mean, because
Losing it.
variance is going to come for everyone. You can't just be even if you're the best player in the world. There's no way you can avoid variance, right? So it's
Correct.
just stupid to be playing with a bankroll of 2 buy-ins.
Understood.
If you're
Understood.
if you're extremely lucky, like the luckiest person on earth, maybe you'll survive, but the chances are so small that it doesn't make any
Understood.
sense.
Understood. Okay. Okay. So what is your so when you were I don't know what your bankroll is, but no, we know about it. Like you said, कि आपका जो current total earnings हुआ है, what
Hmm.
was your poker grind like? मतलब आप like you said 7 p.m. you start. तो आपने ये
Hmm.
कितने time तक किया? Like that you have to start at 7 and then work hard till that much time.
So I think for about 1 year I did this consistently, and then I joined MBA, and I've been playing mostly cash since then, and a little bit of MTDs during my free time. So like 1 year of consistent grinding, and
So that was how many hours a day?
was like I think 7 to 8 hours a day at least, and then a bit more on the weekends.
Oh, so you were not very hardcore कि भाई साथ में मुझे पढ़ना ही है इसके साथ I'm studying also a lot I'm putting in 3 hours a day okay वो टाइम पे आप भी बहुत पढ़ाई कर रहे थे upswing का.
Oh, so yeah, this was a time where I was also doing a day job. So 7 to 8 hours apart from a day job means that you basically just have like 4 or 5 hours left to sleep.
So there was no
So
time to study.
no, of course I was studying. So I would take like one day off, maybe 2 days off, and use that to study. But it wasn't like I have a fixed time every day for studying because that just wasn't possible with my schedule. But if you're not doing anything else, and if you have time, then you should ideally spend on studying because the increase in your hourly win rate or your total ROI would be huge if you just put that little bit of time into studying.
Got it, got it. So you recommend कि हाँ मतलब वो of course like I mean पढ़ना तो है ही like
There's
because a
no
lot
way. There's no way you're
lot
going
of
to
people.
fetch better otherwise.
समझ गया. Okay, so guys, we've got about say 50 questions already. मतलब of course there are some normal ones also Facebook पे, but 50 question लोगों ने डाले हैं. Guys, keep on commenting your questions. को end में we'll cover that. So जो भी अच्छे questions है उसके basis पे we'll allot the tickets. ठीक है. What's your biggest सब लोग के पास because they are mid stake and small stake players and they are what you were 2 years ago 3 years ago तो यहाँ सबको ये पूछना है कि what is your how do you handle your downswing and what is the biggest downswing you ever had so now I know that 1 lakh का downswing हुआ है आपका you busted that money but what is the biggest downswing in your consistent period वो एक साल का उसमें आपका biggest downswing क्या था.
So my biggest downswing, I think, was close to 25 to 30 lakhs, and this was this was yeah. So I took a shot at 1K 2K PLO, and I'm not a PLO player. I'm not proud of what I did at that time. It was extremely stupid, but I took a shot at 1K 2K PLO, and for that it's like 12 13 buy-ins, and once I got into a downswing, I dropped down in stakes again, and then again built my bankroll up. So
Wow.
yeah, if you are experiencing a downswing, there's no shame in dropping down in stakes. So I mean that's a part and parcel of poker. If you're not rolled to play higher stakes, then just don't play them. There's
Got it.
You shouldn't have any ego attached to it. Yeah, मैं तो 50-100 खेलता था. How can I now play 5-10? That you just have to get that out of your mind. If you
Got
don't
it.
have the money to play those stakes, just don't play them because you won't make the correct decisions. You'll start playing more passively. People will start exploiting you, and you just keep on losing more money.
Oh, okay. Interesting. Well, what about the point which comes in जब आप 25-50 खेल रहे हो वहां से आप 5-10 पे आते हो? So
Hmm.
the results, I know you see it in terms of your buy-ins, right? You probably have
Yeah.
to see it कि my buy-ins have grown maybe this much.
Hmm.
But जो the net basis पे जो money होता है, if you're seeing it on those levels, because I'm also pretty much only 6 months into it, so
Hmm.
I of course see the money side of it also. I don't see it
Hmm.
only in my buy-ins. Then
Hmm.
it's a problem, and that's when you want to jump into your higher stakes. So what is the solution to that?
Yeah.
Just
So I just look at things in terms of big blinds wherever possible. I don't
yeah,
think looking at the absolute monetary thing makes a lot of sense. So that should only decide which stakes you're playing. But just look at your downswing in terms of big blinds. And even when you're playing, just try and see the values in terms of big blinds instead of the actual money. So for example, on PokerStars, there's an option to, instead of showing the actual,
BB.
yeah,
Show it
you
in
can
your big blinds. Yeah.
show it in a big blind. So I just use that. So that just makes everything easier for me because I'm
Yeah.
only thinking in terms of big blinds and not the actual amount.
I have shifted to that after talking to all you guys. But
Hmm.
in terms of when I'm playing my knockouts,
Hmm.
somehow I'm not managing the BB part of it only. I'm just wanting to shift back to the amount version. I don't know why. I'm playing the other tournaments of I'm managing, but when I'm playing the
Okay.
bounty tournaments, somehow I don't know why. There's some weird thing.
Okay.
But ठीक है. It's a weird thing. Yeah, yeah, yeah. ठीक है. Okay.
Hmm.
Um, so your biggest downswing was 25 lakh rupees is what you're saying. जो एक time पे
Yeah.
आया था. How did you
Yeah.
react to that, man? How did you like? Was it a problem कि नहीं? कि it was a part of the समझ में आ रहा था कि
I
it's
mean,
under control.
of course, no one likes that. It's
हाँ.
a hard time.
It's a lot of money and it's a bad time. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, it's a bad time. I mean, you take a little break. There's nothing you can do about it. It's not like if I wanted to stop my downswing, I could just stop it. Say, nahi, ab main kal se nahi haarunga. That's just something I can't do. So you just have to live with it and
So
just
you went down on your stakes because यहाँ
yeah,
stakes
of
पे
course, of course. Yeah,
अच्छा
so
you did.
like yeah, of course, of course.
So
Like
you
there's
were following your bankroll management का rule at that time also कि नहीं यार
I,
मुझे ये numbers
no.
meet
So
कर.
at that time, I was trying to take a shot at higher stakes.
हाँ, that's
And
the thing. That's the place where you.
but even when you're taking a shot, you can't. So if you're looking at this downswing, it's still like 12, 13 buy-ins, and I've still managed to survive after that. So it still means that even when I'm taking a shot, I'm not going and playing with a bankroll of like 5 buy-ins or 10 buy-ins or something like
Understood.
that. I still have like a decent role, but it's I'm not still properly rolled to be playing that.
Got it. Okay, okay. ठीक है. My last serious question is on the lines of controversy.
Hmm.
कि अभी बोले में इतना आ रहा है in terms of the Indian market, the Indian poker store
Hmm.
market में इतना बोल रहे हैं कि the site owners are having a lot of late registrations happening till long
Hmm.
time and rebuys are allowed till 15 buy-ins only.
Hmm.
Like बच्चा है तो भी 15 buy-ins पे भी buy-in हो रहा है. So
Hmm.
what is your take? What is your scene on that? Like what is your take on that?
So I think later, ideally, it shouldn't be allowed till those shallow stacks. But currently, I feel that, especially for regs, it's still profitable to be
Yeah.
buying in on those blind levels because the games are still relatively very, very soft. And I would personally like only yesterday I fired like 13 bullets in Millie United and like seven,
Yeah.
8 in that domain because I still feel like even at those blind levels, I have an edge over the field and I can still be profitable. But yeah, from an entire ecosystem perspective, I don't think that sites should allow like rebinds for less than 20 bigs because like as a recreational, I can understand how it must feel like. I'm
Yeah.
playing for fun. I just busted a guy like 5 times in a row and he just
And
keeps on
he's
rebuying
yeah, yeah,
and
yeah. Exactly.
eventually he takes my stack, so I won't enjoy it if I'm a recreational. So as from an entire ecosystem perspective, I don't think that should be allowed. I think
Un-
one of the other major things is the rake that the Indian sites charge. It's unbelievably high, like
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
probably the
And you're a
highest in the
cash
world.
player. So it's
Yeah,
now you're a cash player. So yeah.
yeah. So the rake is
Yeah.
insanely high. So unless you're grinding out promotions on some side
Good volume. Yeah.
where you're getting a decent rake back, it's going to be very difficult to be profitable.
Fair enough. Okay, चलो let's move to some like थोड़ा fun thing.
Yeah.
Rapid fire types जो अपना version है उसमें but what is the best purchase with your poker money? The best purchase you've done?
I think PT4. Like
Oh,
to be
not poker stuff.
uh,
Something else.
not.
Something where you spend actual money. Oh, sorry, what?
I don't think I've actually bought like something crazy till now. Yeah.
Okay, let's call it आपका IIM का fees you paid out of pocket
Yeah.
money.
So yeah.
So let's do
So
that. Okay,
yeah. So
awesome. What is your favorite poker hand?
uh, so that's
Pocket
yeah.
aces. अच्छा ठीक.
It's a pretty like other than pocket ace, it'll probably be like Jack Nine suited because
Oh,
once when I was playing live with my friends, I got extremely lucky and won like a three-way all in, and then like I've won a few major hands with that, but
interesting.
I'd rather just have aces and as compared to Jack Nine suited.
Okay, perfect. ठीक है. Mine is changing. I like 8-6 for some reason suited, and then I like pocket nines. But I used to love it because I won a lot. But बाद में मैं यार 2 बार हार गया फिर. Then I was like, listen, ये लफड़ा है. I can't do pocket nines.
Yeah, so yeah, like I love Jack Nine suited, but if someone like three bets and I'm just sitting
Got
there,
it.
I'm not going to be playing that.
Yeah, exactly. Okay. You don't want to be too much into poker, but what is your poker dream? I mean, don't tell me WSOP because, well, okay, yeah, if it is, then fair enough. Huh?
And of course, WSOP is everyone's dream, but I guess if I were to have a poker dream, it'll just be like playing the highest stakes internationally.
Oh, okay. And ठीक है. And WSOP, are you trying to play this time or no?
No, I'm not trying to play.
What is the reason for that? Why not?
One,
It's not that
it takes a
like
lot of time, so my college classes would have started by then. And second, I'm not sure of the legality of playing on GG from India. So even if I do get a huge score, I'm not sure how
you'll get
I'll,
paid.
yeah.
Yeah.
So I
Acha.
don't want to take that risk. And the games, and I think there are plenty of games happening in India now.
Yeah, you
So,
couldn't buy. Yeah. You know, everyone is going to be like, कि यार इतना अच्छा he's getting to make so much money and he's doing so good and he's talking about classes and college. So, you know, everyone is going to be like, ये क्या हो रहा है? अच्छा.
that's still an important part of life.
नहीं ठीक है. Yeah, I agree. अच्छा. Future of poker in India. What do you say?
I think it's looking pretty good. The numbers have definitely picked up, and like even though the COVID situation is pretty bad for the country, like for the whole world, it's been good for poker since a lot more people been playing. But I think overall, from an ecosystem perspective, the operators do need to reduce rake significantly and bring in more recreational friendly policies. For example, at the higher stakes currently on most sites, it's just bum hunting. There'll be like five regs sitting on five different tables, just waiting for one recreational player to show up. As soon as he shows up, everyone just sits on that table. So operators need to find some way of making sure
अच्छा.
that doesn't happen. But overall, I think the numbers are increasing, and it's good if the operators can just bring in a few more player-friendly policies that should get even
More
better,
players.
and more people would can then start taking this up seriously.
Got it. But the notion about this is going away, right? कि poker खेल रहा है वो थोड़ा notion जा रहा है. है of
Ha,
course.
of course, if you haven't had any exposure to poker, then obviously you'll feel like it's gambling and people are just throwing their lives away. That is likely to happen because they are, if you look at our parents' generation or a generation before them, they haven't had that much exposure to this game, so they don't
Yeah.
understand how much math is involved in it, how much study is involved in it. So it's obviously difficult for them to get on board with it. But as the exposure is increasing, people are starting to realize that okay, if the same person is making money over and over again, then there must be some skill involved with it. It's not like the same person can keep on getting lucky day
Agreed.
after day for a long period. So I think
ठीक
that
है.
the overall perspective is changing.
Perfect. Nice. Poker crush.
Uh,
Feel free.
I'm forgetting her name. She's British.
The Laura. I know. I'm not getting a name. Laura. What's her name? I don't know.
Uh, she's married to. to Igor something. I
You don't have to
don't know.
remember the guy's name.
Yeah. I can't. I don't know. How have I forgotten her name? I'm sorry, I just can't think of her
ठीक
name.
है, ठीक है. Okay. Uh, is there any destination that you want to go and play poker at? Like, so Vegas is usually
Yeah,
one. So is this
Vegas. Yeah,
Vegas?
Vegas for me. Yeah.
Have you been to Vegas before?
Nope.
So there is one whole opportunity waiting right now.
Yeah, so I haven't played anywhere outside India, and even live I've played like once in India, like the last IPC, but that
Acha,
was it. I haven't had much live exposure.
nice. So so again, sorry, your major part of your online earnings has been in cash or in MTT?
I think it's roughly the same. It's almost an equal split.
Oh, okay, nice. वो आपको you never faced a difficulty there because I'll tell you again when I play for me tournament में भी एक समझ में आ गया कभी when am I going all in, when am I not going, or when am I doing whatever I'm doing. But cash में when I shift, I again don't follow that pattern again. It just changes the whole thing and I lose my this. I'm like, hey, let me go back to tournaments only. So
Of
what do
course,
you do?
both of them are extremely different formats.
Correct. Yeah.
So there are like three main factors because of which that happens: stack size, antes,
Yeah.
and ICM. And you need to study extremely different things for them. But I have put in the effort for both of them. So
Okay.
I already have that base. So I don't feel that much of an issue
Understood.
when
Understood.
I'm switching. Of course, if I'm playing like 8 tables at a time, at that time I won't play like 6 MTTs, 2 cash, or like a 4-4
Huh.
split, because if you have to take decisions that quickly, then it becomes difficult to keep on adjusting. But if I'm playing like 8 cash or 8 entities at a different time, then it's not too much of an
Okay.
issue for me.
Okay. 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 You play 8 tables, right? Perfect.
Like sometimes it depends on what is happening. So most of the times, if I'm playing MTTs, there aren't enough MTTs for me to be playing 8 tables in India.
Nowadays there are quite a few. So
Yeah,
I think now,
but
yeah.
even now, I think the maximum I go to is like 8 on Sundays. But other than that, I think for
Okay.
most days it's like 4 or 5.
Understood. Understood. ठीक है. Poker inspiration.
Poker inspiration would Doug Polk. I mean,
Oh,
I,
okay.
I
Nice.
started I started getting serious by watching his content, and
Acha.
he's a person that I've been following since quite. I
Okay.
mean, I was
Uh,
very young,
uh,
and even he's gotten away from playing poker.
he's gotten away from playing poker. I was just going to come to that, saying कि वो भी छोड़ के गया. Yeah, yeah, yeah. But he's running his YouTube channel pretty well, so he's yet deriving something out of it.
Yeah, and
So,
Upswing is pretty big as well, so he's making a lot of money through that.
oh, okay. I actually personally I've not come across Upswing. No, I come across RYE, RIO a lot, and I bought also RYE, but this is something which is okay. Yeah, though I watch a lot of Duck Polka this thing YouTube videos, but I didn't know it's Upswing. Okay. Acha.
I see.
Favorite poker site?
9 stacks.
What is the name?
I just started I started playing there, and for the first year I was playing basically just on 9 stacks, because I think the TDS policy isn't like in the entire TDS scenario in India isn't that great for mid stakes player. And when I was in mid stakes, I would have preferred to be playing just on one side, because in order to make a cash withdrawal, you'd want to be positive and you don't want to make those many transactions. So it's better for a mid stakes or a low stakes player to just be focusing on one side. At that time, I'd pick 9 stacks, and their cash promotions are actually insane. So I think for every cash promotion, I've gotten like 100% or 100% plus rake back. So which means that I've been playing rake free since
So you
the
can't complain
starting.
about Drake anymore then.
Yeah, but for that I have to put in a lot of volume,
Yeah,
obviously.
yeah, that's
But
correct.
uh, yeah, so I mean, I think their cash promos are still way better than any other site's cash promos. But again, the issue with them is that they don't have
Okay,
high buy-in MTTs.
समझा. ठीक है. Okay, so 3 tips before we move to the questions of whatever people have. So we'll wrap up after that. So just 3 tips that you can give genuinely. I'll tell you the group which we have currently is a lot of mid-stake and small-stake players who are playing everything, who are playing tournaments, who are playing cash. So they are the ones you some are learning, but सब लोग learn करना चाह रहे हैं, and they're yet lost in the game, but they're also not being able to leave it, and they like it. So what is the actual tip which you can give? 3 tips.
See, so the number one would be manage your bankroll properly, because like if you aren't, then the variance will just kill you.
Got it.
The second would be pick one game. And by one game, I don't mean NLH or PLO, like NLH cash or NLH tournament, PLO cash or PLO tournament. So
Okay.
if you're trying to study too many things at once, then there's no point. I mean, you'll be just doing too much stuff. There's too much stuff to learn even for one specific game. Like even I don't know a lot of things about both cache and MTT even at this point. So just try and make your job easier by picking one game and sticking to it. uh, if you want to pick cache or MTTs can depend on various factors. If you want, I mean, it'll be like what sort of a schedule do you want to follow, which do you enjoy more. There can be multiple factors, but pick one specific game. And the third would be in terms of learning, try and keep your job easy by focusing on one thing at a time. So for example, if you've decided, okay, I want to if I'm studying cash games and I'm
Huh.
what if I'm just starting off, then I'd first want to look at pre-flop ranges. I try to see, okay, what happens pre-flop, how do my ranges change according to the position, and
Position.
just get that set in my mind. And before that thing is set, I wouldn't move on to a next thing. So it's very easy for a player to get lost because there are just so many things to study. And if you try and study pre-flop ranges and how to see bet, how to check raise on flops, all of this together, then you just get overwhelmed and it
Huh.
won't be an
Don't know
efficient way
what
of
to apply.
learning.
Correct.
Exactly. So in I think taking online courses really helps in this thing as well because they have a structured way of learning. And when you're following a structure, it's just much easier to be able to grasp the concepts.
Fair enough. Okay. Okay. ठीक है. So guys, we've had a good conversation. अभी questions पे जाते हैं. Guys, जिसके भी जो भी questions है, I see some 72 comments are there. So guys, keep on let the questions come in so that the tickets will also be decided on the basis of questions. So ज़्यादा questions नहीं हुए, so I'm taking away those tickets. So ठीक है. Bhavya, first I have a question. So
Yeah.
I'll start with mine first. Okay. I am in terms of learning. I have done a small course of big stack poker and I just started RYE का course right now. तो I have
Okay.
मेरे को terms पहले समझ में आए जो मुझे पहले पता ही नहीं था कि c-bet क्या है या what is barrels and all those things which I didn't know. So small things like these I understood out of all those things and then I'm studying further. So abhi positions is something which I feel yes I'm understanding yet not clear with pre-flop ranges all those things. I'm yet learning those charts and small things like this. So but it makes me question. My last 2 weeks have been very nice in tournaments. Okay, for my level, my standard ke hisab se. So I played this tournament which has about 250 people who play, and I FT'd it twice. I played 6 attempts in the last 2 weeks. I FT'd it twice, and I mean where I finished fifth twice, and once I shipped the tournament yesterday.
Okay.
So for me, it's like I was just again thinking, कि हाँ मैं थोड़ा थोड़ा apply कर रहा हूँ. Like I'm taking care of my positions right now and the cards I'm playing, but I'm getting the results. So it made me very happy. I'm तो winning. So what is the purpose of studying there? Like अब सबको ऐसा ही हो रहा है. Sometimes everyone is winning a little bit. So then what is the real reason for studying? Yeah.
Uh, uh, so, what you're talking about winning twice in six tournaments, that's great. I mean, if you manage to reach the
Thrice and six. Yeah. So yeah.
thrice in six, that sounds great. But honestly, the sample size is just too small for you to be able to say anything.
Got it.
The real difference comes when you play like 500 to 1000 tournaments. That's when you start realizing the difference between players. So what happens in tournaments especially is that most of the times you're playing 20 big blinds, 15 big blinds, 25 big blinds, even 10 big blinds, or sometimes even 5 big blinds deep. So
Correct.
the equities will be so close to one another that the variance is just huge. And if you don't know what to do in that spot, then that can be a huge difference. So, and once it comes to pre-flop range, especially, so in tournaments they aren't as useful as cash games because in cash there's a set environment. You're playing 100 BB deep, so it's more of a mathematical thing. Okay, you have to do this, you have to do this every time. But in MTTs you need to have a greater understanding of the environment. Like,
Yeah.
okay, who has a great, I mean, on whom can I exert ICM pressure and all of that. So you'll really start seeing the difference in all of those learnings once you've played a huge number of tournaments. But in just 1 week or 2 week, that you can't really say anything.
Understood. Understood. ठीक है. Fair enough. Okay. ठीक है. I will just ask the questions that were first asked when we put up that you were coming live. ठीक
Yeah.
है. Now it's your turn. Please, whenever you find
Uh,
something nice, please tell me. There
yeah.
are some, yeah. Okay, so Gaurav Chabria is asking, uh, for how long have you been a struggling and losing player before you started converting your strategies to a winning game? Is there any particular poker strategy that you love and never fails to get you value? So, particular secret sauce.
Okay, I think the first part of the question is pretty good. For how long was I a losing player? So I would say like the first 4 years where I was just playing for fun on Zynga, I was definitely a losing player. Like I couldn't even make chips on a free roll website, so
Uh,
that is pretty pathetic. Then after that, even when I was playing in college for those games, I was still a winning player. But I think if you would put me in any field where even one person knew how to play, I would still be a losing player. And once I started playing online, I would say it took me like a month or two to at least a month or two to get like certain basics right, and then be able to call myself a player who would win in the long run. And coming to the second part of the question, is there any specific thing that like is my favorite thing? That I don't. I mean, there it's just very very situation specific, but I guess overall, I I would have a I would have like a higher three bet percentage than the
oh, okay.
average player. If
So you're aggressive that way.
Yeah, of course. I think in poker you just have to be aggressive. If you're playing passively, you can't win. Right? Especially in tournaments, you just have to be aggressive. Like even if you're just stupid aggressive, just raising without thinking, that's probably still better than being a nit and just folding to everything.
Or limping. Got it.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. But yet, you mean when you say you fold a lot, to be वो आपके tournament में usually you're folding a lot more, right? That is always there, right? Isn't it?
Uh, Not really. It would depend on when. So, for example, if you're talking about pre-flop, you
Yeah.
have to be. I mean, actually, on every street, you have to be much more aggressive in tournaments
Okay.
as compared to cash games.
Cash.
And the major reason behind that is the ante that comes in. So, if you're, so there's effectively one big blind more in the pot to start off with, and that might not sound like a lot, but that's a
Uh,
huge part of the game, especially when you're playing like 10 big blinds or 12 big blinds. That's like
Got it.
10% of your
Correct.
stack
Correct.
almost.
Correct.
So
Correct.
you need to really fight for those antes. You need to be opening wider, you need to be three betting wider, you need to be calling wider. So let's say uh, if you're talking about calling, let's say you're in the big blind and someone opens to let's say 3x. So in a non-ante game, you would have to call two big blinds to win a pot of six and a half big blinds. So you'll need roughly like 31, 32%. And if you just introduce a one big blind ante, now
Yeah.
you have to call two big blinds to win seven and a half big blinds. That
Correct.
will be roughly 27%.
About 20. Yeah.
Yeah, 26, 27%. So there's a huge difference there. So a lot of hands like 9-7 off, 10-8 off, Jack 3 suited, Jack 2 suited, 10-3 suited, basically any suited combinations, which you typically fold in a cash game. All of them start becoming calls.
Valuable
And
enough. Okay.
yeah, even though they aren't great hands, like you probably just
Understood.
have to fold them once you miss the flop, but the pot odds just increase significantly. So you have
Understood.
to
Understood.
start playing a wider range.
Okay. Okay. Uh, okay. I have these questions you've already answered. Where you started your poker game, cash or Tony player. How do you manage my bankroll? Okay. How often you three bet your opponents when you're almost sure they are bluffing? When someone
Okay.
donk leads half pot on a 9-9-2 board, do you often let
Okay.
it go or min raise or 3x your opponent?
Uh, okay. So I think there are a lot of factors that will still come into play. The stack depth, for
Right.
example, and like if I'm 100% sure the player is. I mean, I don't play a game where I say that a player is almost or is always bluffing in the spot. I still think that like people can surprise you. They can have value hands whenever they don't. So I like playing more of a fundamentally strong strategy. So if that board favors me, then I'll be raising. But if it doesn't, I wouldn't just like, even if I know that that person is bluffing, that doesn't mean that if I open with like let's say uh, on this board what is absolutely disconnected, which let's say I
Even
open
AK,
with
AK is disconnected. Even in AK is disconnected, right?
yeah, but that still has like two over, so you can still probably call there.
Got it.
That might be
Okay.
fine. it'll depend on the stack size. Let's say I had a hand like King 7 or King 8 suited.
Okay.
So that I wouldn't just start bluffing with that over there. It wouldn't make sense. So yeah, it depends on a lot of factors. I can't
Fair
just
enough.
say without
ठीक है.
knowing the stack depth or more
Okay.
specific reads.
Okay. How are you managing time for poker in these very tight academic sessions is something which someone asked and they have a question बाकी का जो आपने already answer किया हुआ है. So yeah.
Uh, so
Uh,
uh, so I think time wala thing is again that I mentioned earlier. So let's say I
cash
don't
games you're
have,
playing.
yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. So I start playing games where there's no limit on when I have to get up. So I can't manage to play MTTs when I'm in college. So I just switch to cash that time.
Okay. You've got to allot tickets नहीं तो बाद में सब लोग मेरे पीछे पड़ जाते हैं कि then you have to be the one or else I'll give it to you later. आप comments में देख के मुझे बताओ. But
Yeah.
guys, keep on commenting your questions. So this is a nice question. I think just want to know about the middle game. I think I'm not ready. Starting is quite good, but when I'm in the middle, stack management is important. But when I'm good position with good stack and suddenly got a bad beat, even if it takes away half of my stack, after that won't recover and it goes down continuously. So how to manage when I get a bad beat when I'm at a good stack? Yeah.
Okay, so I think the stack depth won't really matter. I think the thing that's happening is once you get a bad beat, you're just getting sort of tilted and thinking, yeah, मेरे साथ बहुत unfair हो रहा है. This shouldn't happen, and then you just start playing any two hands. So that shouldn't happen. You should understand that getting bad beats is a part of poker, and the way that I convince myself of that is, well, let's say in poker, the good player always won, then there would be no money in the game because then the bad players would realize, oh, I lose all the time. Why should I even bother playing? So the
Correct.
only reason why people can make money in poker is because even if you're not the greatest player, you still have the shot, still have a shot at winning the hand, right? So just think that okay,
That's a
that
nice viewpoint. Yeah, that's something nice to the way to look at it. Nice, interesting. Okay, Saswata, that was you. Rajat asked me, what's the best way to play pockets from 7 to jack from positions
okay.
like button? He's put up all positions. If you discuss that elaborately, so I think whatever you, it's again situational, but yeah, however you can answer.
So in MTT, it'll depend a lot on your stack depth. So if you're less than 15 big blinds deep, hands from sevens to nines would be a shove from every position. Uh, Tens and jacks you can start putting into your raise call range from later positions. So
Okay.
basically, at shorter stack, I'll give a general understanding of how ranges work at shorter stack depths. So how it work is that in your range, you would, when you're playing from say 12 to 15 big blinds, you'd want to have a raise fold range, a raise call range, and then a jam range.
Sure.
So you'd be jamming those hands, which might be difficult to play post flop, but are still will
Advantage.
still have good enough equity against a call range. And then you'd want to raise fold sort of the lower end of your range, which are just not good enough to shove and which beat
Okay.
the calling range. And then you want to raise call with like the top of your range where you have aces, kings, or something. So let's say if you had a range where you're raising any ace, a few kings, a few queen, like kings and queens, I mean king x's, queen x's, then you might want to have like the weakest ace, like ace deuce off, or like ace deuce off is also mostly a jam only, but you get the point. Ace deuce off, like your weakest king, your weakest queen, and your raise fold range, and all of the middling hands like mid to low pockets, king queen, ace 10, ace 9, ace jack, all of these in your jamming ranges. This is how you build an overall strategy for less than a 15 big blind play. Over 15 big blinds, you still have a lot of playability.
Got it.
So you can raise and see how people are reacting. And then as you keep on getting deeper, it'll just depend on how everyone's playing. And there's just basically a lot of playability at those stack levels.
Okay. Okay. Fair enough. Okay. Uh, at the very early of freeze out tournaments, when everyone almost same stakes goes all in with AK or AQ or with the monster cards, uh, should I go all in or raising makes sense? Because while playing, I'm facing serious problem and get busted very early. Yeah, it's a little yeah. we've got to understand a few things out of this. Yeah, really.
I didn't really understand the question.
Yeah, I mean, I think what he's trying to say is कि बहुत लोग early stage of the tournament पे with an AK or AQ or with monster cards, uh, should he raise or should he go all in? Because he's getting busted very off early in the tournament. So I personally don't think you should raise, right? You should raise. You should not shove because you have a lot of big blinds at that time.
Yeah,
So yeah,
like going all in randomly doesn't make sense if you have
correct.
100
ठीक है, ठीक है.
blinds.
Okay, we have Anjan's question which says, after the late registration, I'm mostly with chip lead, but
Okay.
bust soon after the bubble. Why is this happening to me? Please suggest a strategy. How should I play during bubble with average stakes where chances to get in the money are 50-50?
Okay, so I'll answer the second part of the question first. So when you have an average stack on the bubble, it's like one of the worst situations for you. So the bubble will be the time where people with bigger stacks will put a lot of pressure on, especially you. The people with the shortest stacks still have like lesser pressure on them because the ICM pressure on them would be much lower. But the value of you losing your stack
Is
is
a
huge
lot.
at that point. Yeah.
Correct.
So you will get exploited at that point. I
Yeah.
mean, there's no two ways about it, but you just have to sort of get through that period. An example of this is, I think it was in one of Lex Wendhauser's streams. Uh, it was a super high roller or something. It was day two, just at the money bubble,
Okay.
small blind to big blind. I think there was a 40 big blind effective open shove by the small blind, and there were like tons of people with 10 to 15 big blinds, and the guy in the big blind called off with ace king. So overall,
Oh,
you'd think that a shove, sorry, you should, like, people would generally say that acing is a call. Like, a 40 big blinds is not, I mean, you have to just call that off. But that's not true when it comes to ICM. So if you actually look at the ICM calculation, for a 40 big blind shove, I think the probable calling range would just be queens plus. So if
got
there's
it.
ICM pressure on you, you have to respect ICM. You can't
Correct.
just say, "Arey, I'm a middling stack. I don't care. I'll limp into the pot.
Got
I'll
it.
start playing more hands." You have to tighten up if you have a middling stack at the bubble stages. Then once the bubble ends and there's no real ICM pressure on you, then you can start taking your spots.
Oh, got it. Okay.
And
Uh,
I don't remember the first part of the question.
After late registration, I'm mostly chip leading, but I
Okay.
bust after the bubble.
Okay, so like there could be again tons of reasons for this. One could be that you're not playing aggressively enough and the blinds are just catching up to you. Then there could be
Okay,
another
very important point, right?
reason that
Safe.
you're
Playing not aggressive, yeah.
yeah, not aggressive is one. Second could be that you're just playing way too many hands. You're limping into every pot. In that case, what will happen is that once in a while you get lucky and you'll double up, but overall your strategy is just not good enough to be maintaining the stack, and
Understood.
you will eventually get cooled out. So there can be
Okay.
just too many answers to this question.
I have a
Depending.
fellow IIMite who's asking you a question saying how to respond to players who get hyper aggressive at early stage of tournament. You know they're bluffing, but you don't want to lose a huge stack and get eliminated. So what do you do?
Yeah, so early stages of a tournament are pretty much like a cash game. You're setting in with 100 bigs deep. Uh, so it'll so the way I look at it is that if someone gets extremely aggressive with me, I show them again with my own aggression that you are not going to bully me. I am generally the bully at the table, but you don't even need to do that. Like if you're sitting in with 100 bigs deep and that guy's raising every hand, you can just sort of knit up and pay only the top of your range and exploit them that way. So it'll again depend, but you just have to sort of play it like a cash game during the early stages of a tournament and just make the decision you'll be
Got it.
making at a cash table.
Okay. I don't have a ton of experience playing poker, and I have a hard time playing with AK, pocket aces, pocket tens, pocket sevens. Every time I play the hand, I seem to lose. I've changed my style to mostly play when I have AK in position, but it hasn't really helped that much. What do you recommend?
I would recommend that you spend a lot of time studying the theory of poker because
Okay.
the ranges of hands you've described are like just too many, and it's like you've put aces in there, so
Which is
which
your favorite? So
which should be like one of the easier hands to play. So
I
just
agree.
get a general understanding of poker So one basic tip over there would be that there are four categories of poker hands. One would be the super strong hands that you have. So if you're looking at pre-flop, there'll be aces, kings, queens. Then the second category would be the kind of hands that are that have value, but aren't specifically like good enough to get value from worse hands. Let's say on a flop of ace, ace, king, jack, you have ace, deuce. So that's a strong enough hand, but it's not strong enough to get called by much worse by betting a lot. The third
Okay.
would be your draws. So all your flush draws, all your straight draws, your gut shots, all of them would be the third category of hands. Then the fourth category of hands is absolute garbage. Let's say on ace king 10 flop, you have
Understood.
5, 6 suited or something. So the key is mixing in category 1 hands with category 3 hands. So your
Okay.
extremely strong hands that you want to build up pots with for value, with your bluffing hands, which are your flush draws, your straight, your gut shots, which can improve to better hands or nutted hands at later streets in the hand. So you'd want to ideally play these two aggressively and in the same way, and you'd want to club category 2 hands with category 4 hands, which are hands which have some showdown value. So you'd want to play them a little more passively.
Okay.
And of course, hands that you have to just fold also fall into that category. So if you just think of these four categories, that'll provide you a somewhat of a basic understanding of how you can create ranges in different spots.
Got it. Got it. Okay. There are some more questions like how to play JJ and how to like and what's the ROI at which you are crushing stakes you are playing and how much is a decent sample size for that. So yeah, there are like a lot more questions. So वो सब cover करना मतलब बहुत ज़्यादा हो जाएगा for you I think right now. We had spoken. So yeah. Uh, you tell me now. What should yeah. Any improvement you want in Indian poker platforms? That was your rake, right? You said.
Yeah, definitely right. The rake is just insanely high. I think that the pros still find it okay to play in these games because of how soft they are. But unless things change, I don't think like too many people would be picking it up professionally,
Got it.
because
Got it.
currently there are basically no regs playing against each other because they know that the rake is so high that they won't be able to beat it. So that
Understood. Understood. So they're
definitely
just
needs to change.
got it. Got it. Okay. So yeah, I think we've covered quite a few questions. There are more, but then that will just go on and on and on. So yeah, that's pretty much about it for today.
Yeah, sure. It was fun being on the stream, and the quality of questions was pretty good. And
Thank you. Yeah. Thank you
I
so
had
much.
fun. And
I had fun a lot. Thank you so much. I just like the different viewpoint you gave me. In fact, because I have now been on a trend last three streams. Say, कि go for it, go for it. This is thoda come away from it. So I like that part of it. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. So definitely put in effort. Like if you want to be better at the game, definitely put in effort. But I think is that you should have some other skill set as well. Don't
Acha.
just think that poker will be your entire life. Like sure, for a small period of time, that might seem like a good decision, but I don't think like most of the people will enjoy that lifestyle in the longer
Got it.
run.
Got it. ठीक है. Baba, one last thing you'll have to do for us is please, if you can, the tickets के लिए, I've not covered all the questions, but
Okay.
on the live, can you
Yeah.
just mark your like on the comments? There are
Okay.
two particular things I'll show you. If you're on your Facebook, right? Can you see the
Yeah.
comments?
Yeah. So there are about 94 comments, I think.
Yeah, it's about it's I think a lot more than that now. I think it's 96, I guess. But
Okay.
हाँ, वो आप you can do it after this call also अगर आपको वो करना है तो. If you can just
Sure.
mark your like on those comments, I will allot it, or you can just tell me who are the ones who are getting those 10 lakh tickets and this thing. That'll be nice. I will
Yeah.
happily give it away to everyone. If you can
Yeah.
just do that, that'll be nice.
Yeah. Sure. Can you tell me the split again? How many tickets for what?
So 10 lakh Tony tickets.
Okay.
There are 10, 1 lakh GTDs,
Hmm.
and there are 5 which are 50,000.
Okay. Cool. So I think this will take some time. There are
17
a
tickets.
lot.
It's 17 tickets only. So it's not 25 for now, it's 17. We're good
Okay.
with that.
Cool. There are a lot of comments, so I think it'll take some time. But over the next 10 minutes or so, I'll just go through the
Please,
comments.
yeah. You can just drop in a like on that. फिर आप उनको पर्सनल पे बोल देंगे तो चलेगा कि कौन सा खाली एक लाइक ड्रॉप कर दो ना.
Sure.
ठीक है?
ठीक है, cool.
Thank you so much, Bhavya. Thank you so much. And honestly, super learning. I really liked it. Thank you so much. And I'm sure everyone did as well. And thank you for being patient, man. Thank you so much. All the best. And yeah.
Thanks a lot. All the best to you for your Sunday
Thank you.
grind. It was a pleasure being here.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Bye. Bye. Thank you, guys. Thank you, everyone, for watching. Thank you. And yeah, we'll give away the tickets in like 15 minutes types. Okay? Thank you. Thanks. Thanks, everyone. Bye. Bye. Thank you, everyone. And yeah, tickets like 15 मिनट में कर देंगे. Everyone, जिसको भी जो भी win किया, please comment ASAP because आज की tournaments है. So you'll get the tickets today itself. Thank you.